Welcome to the Plan B CRNA podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Jones, and I'm so excited that you're here. The Plan B CRNA podcast is the only show made specifically for nurse anesthetists who are exploring options outside of their traditional career paths. This is the place to expand your mind and your goals as we uncover new ways to produce side income together. The mindset that we bring to any situation plays a key part in overcoming challenges and really enjoying our unique paths in life. On Thoughtful Thursdays, I like to explore emotional topics that are relevant to CRNAs and other providers. I think of this as my therapy, and I hope you learn some tips and tricks that you can use along your own journey. This episode is brought to you by On-Call Capital. On-Call Capital is dedicated to educating CRNAs and other healthcare providers about investing outside of the traditional stock market. On-Call Capital also provides opportunities for you, yes, you, to create passive income and generational wealth while also lowering your taxable income through investments in the apartment and alternative investment spaces. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, make sure you do that right now so that you don't miss an episode. Thanks so much for joining me today, and now on with the show. Welcome to Thoughtful Thursdays on the Plan B CRNA podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Jones, and I want to just say Happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone. I hope that you're enjoying this beautiful day safely. I'm sure my family's going to be doing some quesadillas later on today in celebration. But, moving on with the show, as always, I like to start these off with a quote that gets me thinking. So, the road to success is always under construction. I don't have anyone to attribute that quote to, but it's pretty powerful if you stop to think about it. If there's anything that I've learned over the past couple of years, it's that building a business and a life for that matter takes work, and the work is never done. Life isn't a set it and forget it scenario. It's more of a constant evolution. This is pretty different from what I thought growing up. I was raised to work my tail off for my education, and then I would have a good paying job that I would work for 30 years or more. Then I could finally retire, relax, and just enjoy the rest of my life. But I noticed that I felt this desire to continue learning, evolving, and growing in the decade after concluding my education. And I saw so many others who were pursuing advanced degrees and new hobbies who were much older than I was. What I learned is that this is just another part of life under construction. Most of us are working hard to better ourselves in the world around us. So today I wanted to take some time to go over some of the different ways to manage the work of living. Number one, proceed with caution. If you're driving along the highway and you enter a construction zone, you'll often see those signs that say proceed with caution. You have to slow your speed and prepare for some twists, turns, and rough roads. Your journey through life will likely be very similar in that it's unpredictable. So you have to expect some pitfalls, sharp turns, and unexpected stops along the journey. Now, that doesn't mean you can't hit the freeway and go 75, but you just have to keep an eye out for those times when things can get a little squirrely. Number two, put out the orange cones. When you're actively working on yourself, you have to become vulnerable. In these instances, it's important to set boundaries up to protect yourself, much like the cones at a construction site. This could involve retreating a bit socially during periods of uncertainty or cutting out certain people in your life as you go through positive changes. Now, number three, build a strong foundation. This is a no-brainer when you're constructing a building, since you have to make sure that the structure is not going to fall over. When it comes to personal growth, you have to develop a strong sense of self first, and then build from there. This means getting a better grasp of your own values, self-perception, authenticity, and beliefs. Number four, expect setbacks. It's a rare event for everything to go just as you planned it. There may be setbacks that delay progress or require a shift in course. You know the saying, 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Your path probably won't be easy, but that doesn't mean it's not worth putting in the work. When you expect setbacks, you can more easily keep your eye on the prize as you encounter the inevitable obstacles along the way. Number five, get a crew. Sure, you can do some of this self-work on your own, but why not use all of the resources at your disposal? Outside contractors can provide the wisdom and expertise that you lack, helping you to shore up any gaps in your growth. Consulting, counseling, and therapy can give you the confidence that you're on the right path. Number six, take your union-mandated breaks. You will become tired and mentally exhausted going through the process of self-growth, so it's important to find time for breaks. You should have some space in your life to refresh and recharge so that you're not always just focused on the mess of your construction. Number 7, manage expectations. You must be realistic about your process as you work on yourself. Some things will come easily and others will be more challenging to work on or to change. And that's okay, so long as you have reasonable expectations that promote progress along your path. And number 8, invest wisely. Focus your time and energy on the things that you can control. Spending time on trying to change other people and their attitudes is likely not a wise investment. There are other things in your life that will offer you greater benefit toward becoming a better version of yourself. And sure, there are certain times in your life where you will kind of coast along. Many times it's a personal choice to choose to grow and learn about ourselves throughout the lifespan, but sometimes a wrecking ball comes in out of nowhere and forces us to re-examine our inner workings. Regardless of the path you're on, just know that you're not alone out there. Getting uncomfortable takes courage and trust for the process, but there are many others who are going through similar situations. Tapping into our support networks and other resources can help us to avoid those feelings of despair and isolation. Now, if you're interested in starting down a journey to increase your inner awareness and personal growth, I would suggest taking a look at the book, Life Under Construction, Designing a Life You Love by Allison M. Liddle. It is a practical approach to self-growth. And I hope this episode helps you to at least start thinking in a bit of a different light than maybe you have in the past. I try to bring things to you guys that I think are relevant and useful. As always, I have a few links in the show notes to help you along your path. But for now, that's going to do it. If you enjoyed what you heard, make sure you hit subscribe and leave a 5-star review for us. I also love to hear from folks, so let me know what you thought of the show today. But until next time, be safe. Take care of each other out there, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Plan B CRNA podcast. If you haven't already subscribed and reviewed the show, I'd be honored if you took the extra time. It really helps to expand our reach and get the word out about the show. If you're a CRNA who is interested in sharing your story on our podcast, I'd love to have you. Please email me at bobby@oncallinvestments.com for more information. This episode was brought to you by On Call Capital. They are dedicated to helping providers like you develop passive income and generational wealth through investments in the apartment and alternative investment spaces. Feel free to check out their website at www.oncallinvestments.com and subscribe to their free educational email series. You can find On Call Capital on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also check out our YouTube page, where you'll find all of the show episodes along with other educational videos. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.